Hello everybody, Dan Lucas from Credo here, and thanks for joining me on this video of 50 states in 50 days. And gosh, we're getting close to the end of this. We're on the tail end here, sort of in the last mile of the marathon. We are on day 48, and today we're doing the great state of Arizona. And of course, day 48 means that Arizona was the 48th state admitted to the Union. And Arizona was admitted on February 14th, 1912, which was only about a month after New Mexico. So it was pretty interesting that those two were so close. And then after Arizona, of course, next state we'll do in day 49 is Alaska, and that took about 47 years until that happened. But it wasn't unusual necessarily for these states to be admitted, or for states to be admitted to the Union kind of back to back, because it seemed like there was maybe talk about quite a few states that were going on at any given time, and then they would kind of admit them kind of close together, which I guess administratively makes sense. But it's also interesting to think about what was going on at the time with World War I, and how we were kind of obviously trying to finish our expansion to the coast and kind of fill in the middle of North America and establish the boundaries between ourselves, our northern neighbors, and our southern neighbors. So anyway, for all you history buffs out there, it's pretty interesting when you actually sit down and look at the states and the order they were admitted and the time they were admitted, and think about what else was going on in history during those times. But in any case, Arizona has a lot going on as far as tax incentives, tax credits, a lot of grants, a lot of programs that they have just in general for businesses. And it's a great place to do business. In fact, I knew it was a good place to do business. I didn't know how good it was until I really started kind of digging into it as part of this series. But Arizona is a great state for tax credits, tax incentives, and there's plenty of opportunities there. So very business friendly. In some videos, we've kind of gone into the different grant programs. We've gone into different economic incentives, et cetera, et cetera. There's a lot of tax relief programs in Arizona, especially geared towards the self-employed, contract workers, small business owners, investors too. And so we could probably stick with tax credits and incentives, but there are a couple areas I am going to mention just related to kind of being business friendly that I think might be kind of relevant to people watching this. But suffice to say, if you're in Arizona and you're not taking advantage of credits, incentives, different economic incentives they have, you probably are missing something, okay? And again, part of the reason we put these videos out is because a lot of these are missed. People get federal credits for different things, and even that's kind of rare. But beyond that, people just largely ignore state credits, and I'm not sure why. Sometimes the tax software catches them that your tax professional might be using, or you might be using. But if you're doing it yourself, probably not. But just suffice to say, it's these are missed a lot, and so you can't assume that you're getting these just because you qualify. That's not how it works. Anyway, let's go through some of the major tax relief programs in Arizona, and I think what I'm going to do here is I'm going to kind of read off the actual some of these major programs. So there's like 13 kind of major programs that I would consider tax relief, and I'm going to kind of name those, and then I'm going to kind of go back and explain a little bit more about each one of them. Okay. All right. So let's see. They have an angel investment tax credit. They have tax credits around adding quality jobs. They have tax credits around qualified facilities. They have tax credits around depreciation for depreciable assets. They have, additional depreciation. So it's even more than you would typically get. They have credits around computer data center programs, or just computer data centers. They have credits and programs around the foreign trade zones. They have them around forestry. They have them around leases, like real estate leases and excise tax relief. They have them around military zones. They have them around research and development spend. They have sales tax exemptions for manufacturing companies. They have work opportunity type credits, and they have a list of sort of miscellaneous credits under the Arizona Finance Authority. Now, that's probably not that helpful, but just to kind of list them out, but it might just kind of bend your ear a little bit on some different areas that you might actually have credits in. So first, let's talk about the additional depreciation. And so on that one, when we talk about additional depreciation, what that's saying is that in the state of Arizona, in addition to depreciation that you would get normally, just from normal tax code and normal federal tax laws, in the state of Arizona, they have special statutes that allow you to accelerate depreciation even further for any acquisitions of commercial personal property. Okay, so what's commercial personal property? It's not real estate. It's personal property held for business, like inventory, like office furniture, things like that. Okay, so state of Arizona, if you're not getting extra depreciation, just kind of make sure you're getting extra depreciation on your state return in Arizona. Probably want to be looking into that. All right, next one I want to talk about is the angel investor credit. I love these kind of credits, and just as an entrepreneurial enthusiast, small business enthusiast, anytime that a state or federal, any type of government entity is giving incentives and subsidies to help small business owners raise capital or help investors to lower their risk and boost their return, I'm all in favor of it. I just think it's awesome. It's in the capitalistic spirit. I think it's great. But in Arizona, it is what it sounds like. It's a tax credit that provides credits to investors that make capital investments in small businesses certified by the ACA. So the businesses have to be certified in advance to get this tax credit. So you can't just invest in a company that may qualify. You read the statute and say, wow, this thing qualifies. You can't just get the credit from that. The company has to actually get certified beforehand. Then they can take in investment from people, and you have to make sure that you fulfill all the SEC regulations and laws and all that kind of stuff. So I'm not making any commentary on that. That's what you'd have to do on your own. But if they do it in advance, you can get a credit. So if you're investing in a business there, or if you're in a partnership, or starting up a business on your own, look this up, because if you can invest your own capital, or you have friends and family to invest capital, get them the angel tax credit. And if you're going out to raise capital, it's a lot easier to raise capital if you can offer the investors this tax credit while you're doing it. So why would you not do it? Okay, if you're starting up a business, or if you have an existing business that you're looking for some additional capital for growth. Okay, this to me is just low-hanging fruit. So if you're looking for investment, or if you're any kind of investment that's coming in the business from the outside, set it up in advance and get certified. If you can, okay. Of course, if you don't qualify, you don't qualify. Okay, let's look at the quality jobs credit. So the quality jobs tax credit in Arizona offers up to $9,000 of Arizona income or premium tax credits, and it's spread over a 3-year period for each net new quality job. Now, how do we define net new quality job? Well, I mean, we can go into all that, but we don't have time to go into every single credit. But suffice to say, if you are adding jobs in a business, so if you're growing, this is one of those you have to look at. I would assume that the quality job has to do with pay. A lot of it has to do with average pay in the state, higher than that, or a certain threshold. Again, not going to go into all the detail. But if you are adding jobs, there's federal credits, there's state credits. You might be operating in multiple states, where you can get different state credits in different states, or you might have nexus in different states and pay tax in different states. But if you're in Arizona, $9,000 is a lot of dough, especially for a growing business. And if you're a small growing business, this is just low-hanging fruit you got to go get. So if you're growing and you're adding jobs, it's something you're going to have to look at. It might only take you 5 minutes to discern whether or not you qualify. Okay, so it's worth looking at. Okay, next one is the qualified facility. And the Qualified Facility Program offers a refundable income tax credit. What does refundable mean? It means that even if you don't owe any income tax, or maybe you have exhausted Arizona income tax with other credits, or with other incentives, or with other exemptions, they're still going to send you a check. So even if you owe zero, they're still going to send you a check. It's like a cash rebate that's beyond even the purchase price of what you've paid for a product, right? So these are awesome. They're not that common. Refundable credits are not. But man, they are awesome, because even if your business doesn't make money for a year, a lot of businesses, especially when they're starting up and growing, I mean, they may not make money for a few years when they get started, or they might make money, not make money, make money, not make money, go back and forth. You can still get the credit. They'll still send you a check, okay, for the credit, even if you don't pay tax, right? So it's not a refund. It could be like a subsidy. It could be like a grant, okay? Anyway, it's refundable tax credit, and it is for eligible companies making a capital investment to establish or expand qualified facilities. Again, you have to make sure that you meet all the definitions that they're using in the statutes, but suffice to say, this looks like, if you're expanding facilities of where you're, where there's commercial activity, they have nice refundable income tax credits here. So, probably manufacturing, distribution, it could be that you're expanding office space, even if you're not in those industries. But again, a growing business, this is one you want to put on your list to be looking at, okay? All right, let's go to the Computer Data Center program. And they call this the CDC, not the CDC when we're talking about COVID-19 or anything like that. CDC provides transaction privilege tax and use tax exemptions. Okay, so two different types of tax. Transaction privilege tax, use tax. Both are exempt at the state, county, and local levels on qualifying purchases of CDC equipment. Again, CDC is Computer Data Center. So if you have a computer data center, or if you're in that business where you're outsourcing and you have computer data centers in Arizona, or if you're looking for a state to have a computer data center in, look this up, because exemptions are awesome. There's no credit, but it's tax-free, right? It's an exemption, so you don't have to pay any tax on it at all. That's huge. Sales taxes can be huge, okay? Privilege taxes can be huge, okay? More than income tax even on a lot of cases. So anytime you get an exemption, it's awesome. All right. Let's look at the forest one. So the Healthy Forest, this program, it provides incentives for certified businesses that are primarily engaged in harvesting, processing, or transporting of qualifying forest products. So forestry, a lot of activity in the western part of the U.S., and a lot of people invest in these in partnerships and whatnot. But if it's something you're interested in or interested in investing in, just know that there's incentives there. So if you're already invested in a partnership, maybe bring it up to the other investors or whoever's running the partnership. Make sure you're getting these, or that they're being passed through to you. Or if it's something that you're interested in, or maybe something you're doing, make sure you're getting the credits and make sure that you're passing them through to your investors. Okay. All right. Let's go on to. That one's kind of boring. Let's look at research and development. Okay. So R&D tax credits. Huge popular credit, and there's lots of firms that have just popped up to only work on this credit. Okay, doesn't even have to be CPAs, tax professionals of that nature. Federal R&D credits can be huge, and then the state of Arizona is letting you piggyback on it, right? So you can get the federal credit and the state credit, and sometimes the state credit is even higher than the federal credit. A lot of times federal credits are really high and state credits are a little bit lower, just because of nature of how the math works out, or it's just because state taxes are typically lower than federal. But with R&D credits, I've seen a lot of cases where state credits are actually more than the federal credit, okay? And you can save a lot of money on both, especially if you're making a lot of money, especially if your business is making 7 figures or more. You're going to get big benefits here. These can be big, okay? These can be hundreds of thousands of dollars, if not millions of dollars in credits, okay, depending on how much you're spending and how big your business is. I like to call these the innovation credit, because it's not necessarily, the activities are not limited to what maybe most people would think of as R&D or research and development. It's more innovation to me. So it can involve new processes, new systems, anything that's innovative that makes your business worth more or more efficient. Can be in this pool, right? So it doesn't have to be like people in lab coats walking around with beakers and stuff. It's not that. It can be you installed a new system or process for sales. You put in a new sales funnel program. Maybe you put a new CRM in and you did some training charts and this and that. Maybe you had a consultant come in. Maybe you hired a part-time COO or a part-time, I don't know, a part-time C-level person to come in and do it. All that stuff can qualify. And it even can qualify for wages, W-2 wages for your current employees, whether they're contributing to the program or contributing to the initiative or they are being trained. I mean, there's just a lot of stuff in there. So if you're doing something innovative, think about that, and you definitely might qualify. And the more you spend, the bigger the credit, obviously. Okay. R&D is just one of those that, man, a lot of people, I see a lot of people that are qualified for it, or they qualify for it, they have no idea because they just don't know exactly what it looks like. So think of it as an innovation credit again. Okay. There is a sales tax exemption for machinery and equipment. And there's a lot of details on that. Now, this is for the manufacturing industry, right? So if you're in the manufacturing industry, there's a ton of credits in a lot of different areas in the state of Arizona, okay, and even on the federal level. So if you're not getting lots of federal and state tax credits and you're in manufacturing, you're definitely missing something. But in Arizona, the sales tax exemption is a beautiful thing. Again, sales taxes can really add up. Getting an exemption is better than credits, better than other types of incentives. So get that sales tax exemption, okay, if you're in manufacturing, amongst all the other credits that you're entitled to. Let's see, they have the work opportunity credit. Now, let's see, that's more of a federal credit, but it looks like they're going to give you some help in the state of Arizona if you want some help calculating it, because it is kind of complicated. That's actually not a state credit, even though they list it as a credit on their website. Let's see, and yeah, that's about it in that area. Now, I want to go to a couple other areas because they have some economic incentives in some important areas. Let's see. There's one that is under job training, and there's a program in Arizona where they give job training grants, and in Arizona they will reimburse you up to 75% of eligible training expenses for employers creating new jobs. Okay. Now, I've seen different types of incentives and credits in different states, and I've seen things called like retraining tax credits, which is where you're retraining your workforce to work on a specific piece of technology, or it could be not specific to technology. It could just be in general, and you can get credits for that. Arizona doesn't have a tax credit geared toward that, but grants a lot of times can be even better. So, and this is 75%. So if you spend $100,000 training and you're going to get benefits now, it's going to be good for your employees. You might less turnover. It could be great if you are trying to attract talent and say that you do this kind of training. Maybe other companies don't do it, and you might end up spending $25,000 net, right? Because you spent $100 and you don't have to pay $75,000. I mean, that's huge. And a lot of it is maybe you can offer that to your current people or maybe even new people, especially if you have it as an ongoing initiative and your competition doesn't, because they don't know about it, because they don't do it, okay? Don't be surprised when you start looking into some of these areas that this is obvious stuff, low-hanging fruit. Why are people not doing this? Well, they're not, okay? Trust me, they're not. And so you can get ahead of your competition by taking advantage of some of this stuff. Anything gives you a competitive edge is helpful, right? I'm sure. Okay. Let's see. They have something called Navigator. Nah, that's not really. Let's see. There's a lot of support in Arizona. It's almost like sort of like incubators where they have a lot of public support. I should say public organizations that will provide help and support, free consultation from people that are qualified, free hours, etc., stuff that you have to normally pay for, where they'll help you to, even kind of come in and like concierge service, like you come in and they will help connect you to areas to get new talent, areas to navigate tax credits, tax incentives, areas to navigate how to get money, how to comply with all the state laws, et cetera, et cetera. I mean, these are great resources. A lot of people think all states have these kind of resources. That's not true. That's not true. They don't all have these kind of resources. and they're not all necessarily good. I know for a fact that Arizona is good and it's very supportive. Okay, so there's a program called Venture Ready. There's there's an initiative called PropTech. There's an initiative called the Arizona Innovation Challenge, and there's even one that's specifically toward automated vehicles, and so it's called IAM. And so, there's just a lot of different areas of support. I would start with Venture Ready if I was going to get in this area, and use them as kind of the concierge level, or sort of the ringleader of everything, or the hub, and then let them kind of guide you. So look up like Arizona Innovation and Entrepreneurship Venture Ready, something like that. And it's part of the Arizona Commerce Authority. Okay. All right. Let's look at a couple other things here. We can't go through everything that they absolutely offer, but I want to just kind of hit on some of the high points here. Let's see. They've got something called the Arizona STEP Grant, which it helps small businesses in Arizona. If you're going to expand into new markets, okay, it might be something you want to look at. So if that's something you're thinking about, and you have some new verticals that maybe are in new markets, or some old verticals going into new markets you want to maybe take a peek at. Another great resource center, another great resource center for small businesses it's called the SBIR or the STTR Resource Center. It's something you can Google, and they have a lot of help in how to get funding. Okay, so not just in how to do business or kind of navigate your way through what kind of services and other things you need to know, but this one is actually specific to funding. So remember that SBIR and STTR, okay, for getting funding in Arizona. Let's see. There's something called the Small Business Digital Academy, which is kind of cool. And the Small Business Digital Academy is designed to equip small businesses in the state of Arizona with literacy on digital strategies. So, if you want to learn more about tech and how to use tech to help your business and marketing, et cetera, why would you not take advantage of this? Okay, this is great. I mean, this is stuff you'd have to normally pay for. It's real easy to make huge mistakes in trying to get consultation in digital strategies. A lot of times, I mean, in my experience, it takes time to kind of find the right fit, and you can end up spending a lot of money kind of wasted if you don't find the right people. You can kind of get lucky right out of the bat. So I would personally go to the Small Business Digital Academy and learn more there. And also in learning, you're going to make some contacts, you're going to get to know some people, and you can start to ask them and have them help you navigate a little bit better. So again, this is like, if you're an entrepreneur, small business owner, cost conscious, whatever, this is stuff that is free value, free to you, taxpayer funded obviously, but free to you. You need to go out there and grab this stuff, okay? Because otherwise you're going to end up paying for it, or you're going to make mistakes you don't have to make. Let's see. Again, there's a lot of opportunities around manufacturing. If you're in manufacturing and you're not getting federal and state credits, like substantial, and there should be a variety of them, again, you're missing something. Can almost guarantee it. There's some stuff in international trade. I don't think that's really that big a deal. There is something revolving around location and site assistance. So Arizona would love to have people move in from out of state and domicile their business in Arizona. So they do have some pretty nice programs that help people to do that. So, and they'll help you to even analyze your decision, right? So if you say, hey, look, I'd like to maybe move to Arizona, and they'll help you to get information about workforce demographics. They'll help you in understanding the talent pool and the education level and where people are living, and so that you can really make a good strategic decision about where you want your business to be. And even if you're in the state of Arizona already, you don't necessarily you don't have to be out of state. You can be in the state of Arizona and think about, hey, look, I am in the I'm in the home service business. Maybe I'm in the HVAC business or something. And I want to know, if I want to have an HVAC business and have lots of access to talent, where should I be? Where are the best places to be for that? Where are people trained? They'll help you with that. If you're in tech, where do the tech people live? Is it in Maricopa County? Is it somewhere else? I mean, where should I be domiciling my business? Where are the taxes the lowest? Where should I put my data center? If that comes into it, where should I put my computer equipment? And they'll help you kind of figure all that out so you can see where the best place is for you to actually be domiciled in the state of Arizona. And again, it's not like something where they're giving you tax credits or tax incentives, but I think that's really neat. I mean, otherwise you're gonna have to do all that research on your own. You're not gonna know how to interpret it as well. And this way you can have an expert that you're talking back and forth with, okay? So, all right, we're coming up on about 25 minutes here. That's it for Arizona, at least for this video. That's not it for Arizona because there's a lot of stuff going on in Arizona. So my overall advice would be, if you are a small business, if you're an entrepreneur, self-employed maybe, or maybe kind of thinking about it, maybe have one employee, you can still get some value there, or thinking about growing where you might be looking to take on some investment, might be friend or family, or could be beyond that. You're going to want to be studying these credits, and especially if the ones I'd mentioned kind of ring a bell, then you're going to want to look into those more specifically. Now, if you need help with something specifically, myself or my team, we are very happy to help you with that. We can't go into every single detail on these videos, obviously, but if you have a question, send us an email, go to our website at credofinance.com, or put a comment in the video. There should be a comment section in the video, and let us know that you'd like us to call you, or that you have a specific question, maybe wisdom of the crowd. Maybe someone else will even come in and answer the question. So this whole video can even turn into a chat room and talk about various things. It can be like a bulletin board too. So that being said, even beyond that, if there's something I said that maybe I need to be corrected on, I'm not here to be the smartest guy in the room. I'm just here to get this information out there and help people. So if there's something that needs to be clarified, please feel free to put a comment in there. Don't look at it as anything aggressive, and I'm not going to fire back and try to nullify what you say, especially if it's accurate. If you had experience with any of these credits and have any commentary on it, like, hey, yeah, this one's real easy to get, just do this and this, or hey, look, I tried to get this one, it was impossible, or it's impossible to get approved. I mean, please put it out there. Whatever information we can get out there so that people that are doing business in Arizona or considering doing business in Arizona can take most advantage of this to help their business, whether financially or non-financially. Okay, so with that, I'm going to say goodbye. That's it for Arizona, and thank you. I will see you on the next video.